What's going on, everybody? It's your boy KJ5 to the 2. Thank you for tuning in to the 5-2 Academy video blog, where I answer anything music industry related as it pertains to songwriting, producing, music industry stuff, you name it. I'll try my very best to answer it. As you can tell by the loud birds in the background, I'm doing this live from my porch. Can I say I bring it to you guys no frills, but all skills. If you have a question that you'd like to be featured on the 5-2 Academy video blog, please send it to me at 52academy@gmail.com. That's 52academy@gmail.com. Today's question comes from a man, Los1 from Tampa Bay, Florida. Check out his music at myspace.com/LOS1 music. His question is, what has been my experience as far as using an iPod for live performance? And has there been any problems? If so, what kind of problems are they? This kind of brings me to a very important topic, which is, as MCs or performance artists out there, what do you use to play your tracks back on? What is the best way to do this? Because literally, this can make or break your show, all depending on what you use. Let me backtrack a little bit. I've been doing this for a little while. I might even date myself just a little bit by saying when I first started, I actually used to put all my performance tracks on cassettes, if you can believe that. From cassettes, I moved on to CDs. From CDs, I moved on to the mini disc player, and then as of the last 6 years or so, I've been using the iPod. In fact, that was the whole reason I bought the iPod when it first came out. I mean, literally, I had one of the first iPods that ever hit the market. I bought it because I figured this would be the best thing I could use for rocking my show. And it is. By and large, it is. There's only really one other device that I would recommend that would actually be superior to the iPod, but it kind of prices itself out where most people can't afford it. It's called an instant replay machine. Instant replay is great because you can literally dump all your tracks in digitally and there is no delay. Whereas with the iPod, you might have a 1 or 2 second delay with playback. But realistically, it's not worth having because if you're starting off, you need the cheapest device that you can have for the most quality. Hence the iPod. Now, I recommend the iPod simply because if you can go on the road with a laptop, have all your set or your show or your songs in your iTunes on your laptop, you can sync that directly with your iPod. We know this. Anybody knows how this works. That's basically how the iTunes iPod system works. What makes this great about it is because, let's say you get to the show and you feel a need to rearrange the order of your set. Or maybe you're just flowing off the cuff and in the middle of the show you feel like you want to take the show a different direction. Well, the great thing with the iPod is that you can do that right on the fly. You can resync your playlist, change the show around before, or even do it during the show by picking different tracks. So, it's a no-brainer there. Is an iPod perfect? Well, of course not. There's no perfect device out there. My experience has been, I actually went out and bought an iPod Nano just for my live performance. Occasionally, I would run into some issues of software issues where the iPod would lock up. It wouldn't play the tracks back correctly. And the whole reason I got the iPod Nano was just for that. I actually ended up going back to my own personal iPod. Still to this day, I rock the 30 gig video iPod. Don't have the newest, latest one. It still works great. I have no problems with it. It definitely remains a superior device for your live performance. But if you're going to use the iPod, what is the best way to use it? This is where a lot of artists kind of mess up. Yes, it's great to have all your tracks on the iPod, but even how you're getting your tracks from the iPod into the sound system makes a huge difference, and even how you use it in that capacity. I always recommend artists, if you're going to do a live performance, to run the iPod yourself from the stage. Now here's why I do this. Sound men are notorious for one of two things. Sometimes keeping you low, and sometimes, there's going to be different sound variation levels on your tracks. Some tracks might need a little more loudness. Some tracks might need to be turned down a little bit. That's why I always recommend keep your iPod on the stage, get somebody to run it for you, either on the stage or run it yourself or have your boy do it. That way, if you sound check and for some reason or another you're low in the monitors or your music is low in the monitors, you can just go over to the iPod, dial it up just a little bit, get a little more volume. So those things definitely, work. Here's the reason why I'm very anti-CDs. If you got your tracks on CDs and you're having somebody run it from the front of house, I've usually found 9 times out of 10, and it looks very unprofessional if you're up there like this. Yo, run track 2. Then there's always that long pause. Yeah, that's right, y'all. How you guys doing? You guys still fumbling back there. Haven't found the track yet. Yo, track 2. Still pausing. Anyway, how's everybody's music hasn't played? then he hits the track and it's like track 3 or whatever, and it just kills your whole show. I usually recommend artists to, number one, have your set completely planned out as much as you can. Meaning, if you're going like this, here's the next song, you're walking over, hitting play on the track, then you're rapping, walking over again, going to the next track. It just looks unprofessional. The best shows are the ones that flow seamlessly, meaning there's no gaps, or there is gaps, but if there is gaps, it's planned out gaps. You know when the tracks are going to be coming in. Those, to me, are the most professional shows. The less you have to mess with the iPod, the better. See what I'm getting at? So the point is, iPod, CD, MP3 player, whatever you're using to play back your stuff, make sure your show is planned out. That way, I always have a 20-minute set, a 30-minute set, a 10-minute set, meaning I've already figured out exactly how long I'm going to perform, and I have it set out and ready to go from the top to the bottom. So with that being said, rock the iPod, use the iPod, make your show as good as you can be, and make sure God is glorified and you touch some lives with it. It's been KJ52, 52 Academy. God bless.